Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavagai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhadram Karnehe Shranyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvamusastanubhihi Yashema Devahitam Yadayo Swasti na Indro Vridhashravaha Swasti na Purusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastarksho arishtadimihi Swasti Brahaspatirudadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Athashvalayano Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasametyo Vacha Adhihi Bhagavan Brahmavidyam Varishtam Sada Sadbhis Sevyamanam Nigudham Yaya Chirat Sarva Papam Vyapohya Paratparam Purusham Yati Vidvan. Number 15. Swapne sajiva sukha dukkha bhokta Swamayaya kalpita vishvaloke Sushupti kale sakale viline Tamo vibhuta sukharupameti. Having mentioned having given a brief sketch of the Jagrata Avastha in the previous mantra, the Upanishad gives a sketch, an outline of this Swapna Avastha and Sushupti, dream state and sleep state. This he gives. This we saw. Now we look into the commentary. Swapne. That he explains. What is Swapna? Indriya Grama Uparama Rupayam Swapna Avasthayam. Swapne means Swapna Avasthayam, in the dream state. Avastha, the state. Swapna Avasthayam, in the dream state. What is the dream state? He explains, Indriya Grama Uparama Rupayam Swapna Avasthayam. The Swapna Avastha is characterized, Rupa. Rupa here is characterized by, marked by Uparama, the cessation, the stopping of the working. The Indriyas do not work. Indriya Grama. Grama here is the group. The group of Indriya, the set of Indriyas. They have Uparama. They do not function. They close down for the time. Indriya Uparama Rupaya. This is the mark. The Indriya, the Swapna Avastha is characterized by Indriya Grama is not available. Of course, there are a different set of Swapna Indriyas, Swapna Sharira, etc. These Indriyas which are available in the waking state, they have Uparama. They stop functioning, they stop working. They take a break. They are not there, not available. That is Swapna Avastha. Then, continuing. Saha Jivaha. Who is this Jiva? In the Panini Dhatu Pata, if you look into the Dhatu Pata, the group, the list of roots, Dhatus, there it says Jiva, Prana Dharane. Jiva, the Dhatu Jiv is the sense of living, that is holding the breath, that is having the breath, life force. Jiva Prana Dharane. Therefore, the commentator Swami says, Jivaha means Prananam Dharayita. Prananam Dharayita. One who sustains, one who has this prana, one who has this pranas functioning. This is the Jiva. An alive entity. That's what Jiva. The live person. Jivaha. Prananam Dharayita. The one who has these pranas functioning. Now, and further, Jivaha is characterized by Vividha Vishaya, Vasana Vasitaha, endowed with Vasitaha, endowed with Vasana, the impressions of Vividha Vishaya, various experiences, various objects experienced. The impressions born of the various experiences. And this Jiva is endowed with this Vasana. Vasanabhihi Saha Vasita, who is endowed with these Vasanas, coupled with these Vasanas, along with these Vasanas. This is the Jiva in the dream state. And there what is the Jiva there? He says, Sukha Dukkha Bhokta. That he explains, Aham Sukhi, Aham Dukkhi, Iti, Evam Rupa Pratyayavan, Sukha Dukkha Bhokta. The one who partakes, Bhokta, one who enjoys, one who partakes the pleasures and pains. And this person has this identification also. This identification is there. Aham Sukhi, I am the happy person when there is this pleasant experience. And then Aham Dukkhi, I am a sufferer, I am subject to anguish, pain, etc. when an unpleasantness occurs in the dream. In the dream we are talking about. Aham Dukkhi, Aham Sukhi iti. Thus, Evam Rupa Pratyayavan, the one who has this notion, Pratyaya, the notion, the feeling, the owning of the experience. I am happy now, I am suffering now. The Jiva has these notions. This is the Sukha Dukkha Bhokta in dream. Now the commentator points out the dream state also serves as an illustration for samsara, nature of samsara, he says. Now he says, Tatra samsarasya drishtantena vastavatvam varayati. The Shruti negates, varayati negates, wards off the vastavatvam, the truth of this samsara. The samsara is not vastava. Vastu means an entity. An existent entity is vastu. And then the existence, an entity, the existence of an entity is called vastava. Vastu subhava vastava. Right? So, is samsara vastava? Is samsara absolutely real? Or is it only experiential? Is it only apparent? When this question comes, the Shruti points out, samsara is not paramarthika, is not absolutely real. Why is it not absolutely real? Two reasons. Keeps changing, comes and goes, one thing, right? So whatever comes and goes is subject to negation, badha. We have seen this word, no? Badha. So what is subject to coming and going is subject to Badha, negation. Negation in terms of its truth. Negation in terms of its truth content. Is it true? Is it truly true? Or is it only apparent? Now, whatever comes and goes is temporary, not lasting, and also it's it comes and goes, therefore subject to Badha, right? Negated in as not existent all the time. Therefore, it is not, cannot be Satya, it cannot be absolutely real, it cannot be. But does it mean that it does not exist at all? When you say it is not real, does it mean that it does not exist? Dream does not exist, or samsara does not exist? No, we don't say that samsara does not exist. Total non-existent it is, we don't say. That it's not tuchcha, like the man's horn, they say, or shasha, vishana, rabbit's horn. Right? As we know, on earth, rabbits don't have horns. People don't have horns. Right? So, like it's tuchcha, totally non-existent. Just a word, it's only a word. Rabbit's horn is only an expression, but there's no entity, there's no object referred to by the word. Such things are called tuchcha, totally non-existent. We don't say samsara as tuchcha, it's experienced. Since it is experienced, we cannot call it as tuchcha. Nor we can call it as absolutely real because it is subject to negation, Badha. So what is subject to, what cannot be negated as unreal, that is to say non-existent, and what cannot be at the same time known as absolutely real is only anirvachaniya, mithya. So samsara is mithya. Subject to experience, all right, but it by itself it has no content. It has no content by itself. It's a nama-rupa. Samsara is a nama-rupa. Every experience also is in a way a nama-rupa only. Itself contentless, but depending on me, the Atma, me, the Brahma, it appears as if it is an entity. Like our table, like the wave. Okay? Table itself is not an entity. Wave itself is not an entity. It's only a nama-rupa for the substratum, the basis, the truth, wood and water. So too, samsara itself is not paramarthika. Like what? When you say samsara is not paramarthika, I do experience it day in and day out. It's very, very, very real for me. It influences me. I am influenced by it, affected by it. How can you say that it is non-existent? Sorry, it is not real. What is not real? How can it influence me, affect me? Right? The affected you, that affected you is not paramarthika, right? The bhokta is not paramarthika. There is this subject-object relation is there. Both the subject and the object, that is subjecthood, the objecthood, right? That status of being a subject and object itself is not paramarthika. Like even in sleep, there is no subjecthood, there is no object, and there is no sukha, dukkha, bhoga, etc. There is no specific any experience. You don't see samsara, you don't feel the samsara when you are asleep because there is no subject-object. The division is not there at all. The duality, the pair of connected two, that subject-object division is not there in sleep. So too, this waker, experiencer is a depends upon it's codependent, or I can say it rises along with the experience. The experiences rises along with the experience. Experience and experiencer come together. The subject and object come together. In the Bauddha Siddhanta, in the Bauddha philosophy, they say they rise together. They point out. It's known. It's not that only in Bauddha philosophy it is mentioned. It is known. Both rise together. The subject and object, the subjecthood and the object both rise together. Being an object, something being an object, and I being the subject both rise together. Saha, they come up. They say samutpada, pratitya samutpada, dependent origination. Both rise together. And when the object goes, the subject also goes. Both go together. When the subject goes, object also disappears. Both rise together and then they merge, resolve together. Okay. So, therefore, the experiencerhood is also not paramarthika. So, therefore, when the experiencerhood is not paramarthika, remember, the truth of the experiencer is Sakshi, Atma, Kutastha, Satchidananda. That alone is the truth. The experiencerhood is a role, is a changing facet, is a changing Namarupa for this Atma. It appears, manifests in me, the Atma. Therefore, experiencerhood itself is not paramarthika. The truth of the experience is paramarthika, not the experiencer. That Namarupa is not paramarthika. Therefore, samsara is not paramarthika. To make me understand it easily, more easily, Swapna is cited as an example. Swapna, in Swapna you are there. There is an experiencer. There is experience. There are objects of experience. And the experience is as intimate as in the waking state. Right? Like I see the table, I touch the table, the touching, seeing is very, very intimate, right? In the waking state. Very clear. Spashta, it is very, very clear. The cognition of seeing, touching, the table is very, very complete. Like in the waking state, in dream state also, every momentary experience is very, very clear. Spashta it is. Right? So the experience is there. But we know that in spite of being so intimate, in spite of being so clear, we know that the Swapna object does not exist. The Swapna experience was not truly real. It was only, I went through that experience, I had the experience, but it does not mean that Swapna is real. Swapna object is real. We know that very, very clearly. Therefore, Swapna is cited as an example to point out that samsara also is like Swapna. So we see in the Atma Bodha, no? Samsaraha Swapna Tulyaha. In the one of the Atma Bodha shlokas, Samsaroyam Swapna Tulyaha Raga Dveshadi Sankulaha. Being afflicted by Raga Dvesha. Samsara is like a dream. Swakale Satyavat Bhati. Appears to be real in its own time. When it is there, it appears to be real. Right? When I see the dream, then it appears to be real. Suppose you were to walk into my dream, not as a dream entity, you are awake and you suppose, just a wild imagination, you get into my dream and then you say, oh Mr. Sir, this is a dream, okay? You are dreaming such and such, and then it's not a real thing. The money you see is not real, it's only a Swapna money. And then you tell me, it's not not true. You tell me in the Swapna, I will say that, no, it's very, very real, very, very real. What you say is not true. That the Swapna is not true, you say, your statement is not true. I experience Swapna very intimately. So like the waking state, Swapna is very, very intimate, very real, very clear, experience is there. But still, in spite of being so clear, in spite of being intimate, we know that Swapna experience is not true. It's not. Because when I wake up, nothing is there. The Swapna world, Swapna, objects, etc., they are not there. So I know that. Therefore, like Swapna, samsara also is not paramarthika. It is mithya. It's only vyavaharika, experiential, all right, but not paramarthika. It's a very common notion, popular notion here that experience means reality. Experience implies reality. Right? People generally hold on to this. Do you have this experience? If you have had this experience, then it means that you have tasted the reality, they say. It's not always true. Not always true. And I can even go to the extent of saying that is not experiencing something does not equate it with as reality. That is one question. Reality is totally another question. What is real is only determined by whether it is subject to bada or not. Is it sublated? Is it negated or not? That and that alone is the criterion for truth and reality. Okay? And not experiencing or not experiencing, that is not the question for determining the truth of an entity of something. People hold on to this idea, I have experienced this, therefore this is real, right? These two are not connected, really speaking. Experiencing and reality, they are not all connected. Experiencing is one thing, reality is totally another question. So that alone is real, which is not negated, unnegatable by anybody. That is the reality. One may say it does not exist in ignorance. An ignorant fellow may say it does not exist, right? But we are not talking about an ignorant person's negation of the reality. We are talking about a person who has known, who knows whether the thing is badita or abadita, is negated or not negated. We are talking about that. Therefore, here experience does not mean reality, does not mean. They are totally two different issues. And another reason people think certain things are real, samsara is real, is the usefulness argument. Samsara, the objects are useful. Whatever that is useful is real, they say. That again, they are two different issues. Usefulness is a different issue. Reality is again another question. They are not connected. They are not all connected. Again, like in the swapna objects are not real and they are useful in swapna. Swapna food, right? I eat. In swapna I eat. It is useful. Who says it is not useful? Swapna food is useful for swapna hunger, right? So, sometimes I dream, I eaten well and then drank enough water. But in dream, I think that I am very, very hungry. I have been hungry for so many days. Thirsty. The tongue mouth gone dry for hours and hours and hours. Really, I am not thirsty. But then in dream, I think that, I feel that I am thirsty. Now, which water will help me in quenching that dream thirst? Only dream water will help. Suppose somebody pours water into my mouth. Oh, this fellow is feeling thirsty in the dream. Let me give me a sip of water. Somebody pours some water in my mouth. I will still be thirsty in my dream because this water, Jagrat water, cannot quench my dream, swapna thirst. Therefore, the swapna objects are useful. Who said it? They are not useful. They are very useful. But in their realm, in their sphere, they are useful. Outside of their sphere, they are not useful. We talk about swapna objects, talk about waking objects, right? They are not useful for me in swapna. I am rich really, but then in swapna I dream that I am begging for some 1 penny, 2 penny, right? I am begging for that. This Jagrat money is not useful for swapna experience. Therefore, usefulness, everything is useful in their own realm, but does not mean they become real. That means, it does not mean that they are real. Therefore, usefulness and reality, they are different questions. People generally tie up these two. Useful, therefore real. I experience, therefore real. Therefore, there is no connection. Right? They are not connected issues. Reality is only determined by whether it is badita or not badita. That and that alone is the criterion of satya. Right? Satyatvam. Na baditam. It is not negated at all. Cannot be negated. Cannot be dismissed as non-existent. That alone is satya. Okay. Therefore, swapna is also not paramarthika. This we know. So too, samsara is also not paramarthika. When I wake up from sleep, when I wake up from swapna, the whole swapna, whole world disappears, resolves into me. So too, samsara also resolves, samsara also vanishes when I understand, when I wake up to truth. When I understand my truth, when I wake up to the truth, samsara, its reality vanishes. Right? Like even when I know that there is only, in the place of rope snake example, when I know that there is only a rope and there is no snake, the imagined snake vanishes. Right? So too, swapna, the samsara also vanishes. Its truth vanishes. Its reality goes away. Right? when I understand the truth of samsara. The samsara is mithya. Alright, if samsara vanishes, when I understand my truth, when I understand the truth of all this as Brahma, Ishvara, Atma, samsara vanishes, then will I continue to see the world or not? Will I continue to live or not? Right? That continuity will be there as long as the prarabdha is there. Prarabdha shesha, we say, as long as prarabdha is there, the continuity will be there. But continuity again does not mean reality. Experience does not mean reality. Okay? So here, I will continue to see the world even after I have this jnanam. I will continue to see the world. I will continue in this human body as long as prarabdha is there, karma is there, I will continue. And then I will continue to speak English, Hindi, Tamil, all that I will continue to speak. I will continue to eat idlis. I will continue to have hunger and thirst as long as body is there. Right? And I have to eat, etc. will continue. But then its reality undergoes a sublation. Right? Earlier, before I had jnanam, I took as real paramarthika. Now I understand it's only vyavaharika, kalpita. It is namarupa, the play of namarupa. That in spite of its continuity, in spite of its appearance, I know that it is not paramarthika. Right? We do have experiences, we all very common experiences. The truth undergoes sublation, right? But still the appearance continues. Like the blue sky, like the sunrise, like the world being flat, okay? We know that it is not so. In spite of that, the appearance continues. Sun still continues to rise in the east, in spite of my knowledge that sun does not rise. Right? In fact, there is no east at all. There is no west at all. East and west is purely a relative term. There is no east, there is no west. In spite of my knowing all that, still sun continues to rise in the east. That is, the phenomenon continues, right? The phenomenon continues, the appearance continues, the experience continues. My seeing the sunrise, the experience continues. But still, I know that there is no sunrise. Similarly, samsara, the prapancha, the appearance may continue, will continue as long as the prarabdha shesha, the remaining prarabdha is there, it will continue. But I don't commit the mistake of taking the appearance to mean reality. It is vastava, that mistake I do not commit. This continuation, but the reality is not there. This is called badita anuvritti. Badita anuvritti. Anuvritti means continuation. Badita means its reality is gone. Continuation is there, but its reality is gone. It is paramarthika, that is not there anymore. Like the sunrise. My seeing the sunrise has badita anuvritti. I see the sunrise, anuvritti is there, continuation is there. But I know that there is no sunrise. Sun does not rise. That's right. That is badita. So badita anuvritti will be there. Badita anuvritti is not a problem because it is badita anyway. So I don't take it as real. It's only an apparent, a phenomenon. It is transactional. It is vyavaharika. It is kalpita. That's all. And therefore, what is badita does not affect me at all. Cannot affect me, does not affect me. So therefore, samsara also undergoes negation, sublation in the wake of wisdom. When I understand the truth of myself and the world, the samsara undergoes sublation. It is not there. Prapancha continues to, the world continues to appear, but samsara, the suffering, the life of becoming, that samsara, right? The smallness, all that, sukhi, dukkhi, karta, bhokta, they all vanish. Therefore, here it says, samsarasya vastavatvam varayati. By citing swapna, here the Shruti wants us to understand that, like swapna, samsara also is not paramarthika. Samsarasya vastavatvam varayati. By this drishtanta. Tatra, the word tatra in the sentence, tatra samsarasya drishtantena Vastavatvam varayati is the sentence. Here we understand tatra means in this instance, in this place, here, in this place, that's the meaning. Here, samsarasya vastavatvam, the truth, the reality, the absolute reality of samsara, that varayati is negated. Shrutihi varayati. Shrutihi varayati. Shruti negates. By what? Through what? Drishtantena. By the drishtanta. By the illustration, the example of swapna. Okay. This analysis, the truth of samsara, within the taking the example of swapna, this is very more thoroughly done in the Mandukya Upanishad Karika. The slokas, the explanatory slokas in the Mandukya Upanishad, it is very, very clearly done. And Acharya, Shankaracharya also very clearly explained that in that. So when we get to read, study the Mandukya, we will see that samsara is not paramarthika. Jagrat also is not paramarthika. Like what? Like swapna. Why? Baditatvat. Right? Swapna is badita. Therefore, similarly, the Jagrat also is badita in the wake of knowledge, jnanam, understanding. Therefore, samsara is not paramarthika. In fact, that is saving grace, right? If samsara is not samsara is paramarthika, then I am doomed. Okay, I am finished. There is no point in doing all this. Why study Upanishad? Why study Sanskrit? Why chant? Why break my head over all that? Go and enjoy. Yavat jivet, sukham jivet. Like the materialist, rank materialist says, enjoy, go and enjoy. Like, what are you doing here? Go out, enjoy life. Go out, freak out. Whatever you want to do, go about doing that. Why worry time, why spend time, waste time on doing this and all that? If samsara is paramarthika, right? If samsara is paramarthika, that all that pursuit is a waste, shruti is a waste, and moreover, my even wishing for to be happy, is also waste, is also illegitimate. Hey, how can you decide to be very happy? You can't. It's illegitimate desire, okay? Because samsara is real. Samsara real means dukkha is real. Being a dukkhi will be real. And therefore, I cannot aspire to be free from dukkha at all. Right? Even my very desire to be happy will be wrong if samsara is true. If samsara is paramarthika. So therefore, that the samsara is only kalpita, it's only adhyasa, it's only kalpita is a saving grace. That it can be negated. Yes, I can do that. Therefore, samsarasya vastavatvam varayati. Okay. Now, continuing. Swamayaya. That he explains. Swasya. Swasya means one's own, of one's own. Tat tat dehabhimaninaha. Maya. Ajnanam. Viparita jnanam cha. What is the Maya here? He explains here. Is it the Ishvara Upadhi? Maya means Ishvara Upadhi. Ishvara's Upadhi with which Ishvara creates and sustains, etc. What is the meaning of Maya here? Here Maya means Tat Deha Abhimaninaha. For the Abhimani. Abhimani is the one who has Abhimana. Abhimana is identification. Identification with this particular body. That, okay? Tat Deha Abhimaninaha. I have identification with this body. You have identification with your body. And then Tat Deha Abhimaninaha. For that being who has identification with that particular body, for that individual, Maya. That Maya here is Ajnanam, right? Avidya. And Viparita Jnanam cha, born of Ajnanam, this Viparita Jnanam, erroneous thinking, erroneous Jnanam is also there. Ajnanam cha, Viparita Jnanam cha. Ajnanam, ignorance, not knowing, and committing an error, committing a mistake in terms of knowing indifferently, wrongly. That's Viparita Jnanam cha. This is the Maya here. In other words, it is Avidya, right? It's called Avidya. And that is the Maya here. Then by this Maya, Swasya Mayaya, he explains. taya. Swasya mayaya, by one's own ajnana and viparita jnana. This is the swamayaya kalpitam. Okay. What is that kalpitam here? Vishwaloka, the dream world, the world of dream objects. That is the kalpitam here. It may be better, maybe kalpite may be better in this. It's printed as kalpitam in our reading. It may be simply kalpite, may be better. Maya kalpite, saptami will be better. Or taya kalpitam and then tasmin should be there. Taya kalpitam, vishwaloka, and then tasmin in that swapna world. Okay. It's simpler to say kalpite, taya kalpite. Imagine by that, projected by that, one's own maya. That is what is one's own maya? One's own avidya, and avidya born error, samskara, vasana. These are the maya kalpita. And what is kalpita here? Vishwaloke, kalpite. This Vishwaloka, the entire world of dream objects. That is the Vishwaloke, kalpite. And what is the nature of this world, dream world? He says, vasana rupe. Purely in the form of vasana only. Right? Vasana. The impressions, the tendencies, the mind, they only express. This is the position of this, of the Shastra. All the dream is a manifestation of one's own, the samskara, the vasanas only. So we view. Okay. Now he explains what is the Vishwaloka here. He says, we project, the dreamer projects everything in that dream world. Everything is created by, is a creation of this dreamer only. That he says. Like what? What all I dream? The Shruti gives a sample list, and that the commentator Acharya brings it. Takes the Ratha Yoga, Panthadika, Nikhila Bhuvane, Loke. In the olden days, Ratha, the chariot was there, right? Was the means of the transport for the rich and the powerful. Okay, they had Ratha chariots. The common person had to walk. Right? So the rich person would have Ratha, and this man dreams of a Ratha, having a chariot in the dream, golden chariot. Okay, dream only, you can have, afford to have. And then Ratha Yoga, coupled to that, attached to the chariot, there are horses, and then the adorning is there of the Ratha, etc. Right? And then Pantha, there is a way, the dream way also, path is there. This fellow is traveling now in a golden chariot, studded on a path studded with diamonds and pearls and jewels. Okay, traveling. There is no gold, there is no diamond, there is no way, there is no path, there is no Ratha, there is no horse. Still, this fellow projects all that. Powerful, very powerful projection. Right? What a great trick, no? Project all what is not there at all, right? There is no vehicle, there is no home, there is no house, there is no palace, right? Yet still there are not people, yet still there is no sun. Still I project all of them. Lo, they say, lo, behold, there is the sun. Okay, look at the sky, there is sun. Right? What a great thing, you have created a sun, right? And then stars, there are many moons, there are many suns. Wow, all that in a trice, then the moment you create everything. The sun is there. How long should it take to create a sun? Okay, how long should it take to bring up a building? No, it must take months, right? But then no, it's all. Look, think of it, and the building is there. Think of it, that fellow is there. Wow, what a great power, no? Just projecting. Amazing power. They also say, like we create objects in the dream, jatiti, instantaneously we create. Okay, so too, we are so powerful. With reference to dream world, we are so powerful. that you create everything, right? And it's all my own jnanam. It's all my understanding, my thinking, my experience, my samskara. It's all showing up in the dream world. So to Ishvara can create this entire universe in a trice. When I can create a dream world in a trice means that's all, flick of a hand, second, fingers, I can do that. Clicking of fingers I can do. Like in our this one we do software. Left click, whole thing comes. Right click, left click, another left click, whole thing goes away. Okay? Srishti, left click, Srishti, everything comes. And then delete, one click, one press, everything goes away. Laya. Srishti and Laya. Software. Srishti and software, Laya. You copy, you delete, right? Wow, what a great power. So it's not an impossible thing. So they say, like the dream world, I create the dream world. So this world of Namarupa, this Prapancha is Ishvara's dream, they say. It's not that Ishvara is sleeping and then dreaming. No, Ishvara has samskara, and then in the samskara dream there is this world. It's a model, okay? Like my dream world, this world is Ishvara's swapna, they say. It's a way of saying, okay? It's not that way. It's an expression. Ishvara dreams, okay? And this is the world that we experience, that we are saying. So here everything is created in the dream by myself. I create everything. And there is no enough place for creating all that. Where does all this occur? In me and in my. And where do I obtain in the dream world, in the dream state? Where do I obtain in the dream state? In the nadi. And the nadi is very, very, very fine, very minute. And in the nadi, the jiva is said to reside in that. The seat, this is the seat. Nadi is the seat of this jiva. Nadi itself is very minute. And within that, the jiva is seated, right? And then that jiva creates this world of space. So much wide space is there. Is there enough space there to create the space within? Right? There is no space. And is there enough time to create all that? There is no time, right? To create a building, it takes months. To create Swapna building, it must take time, months to know. Instantaneously it comes. There is no Uchita Kala. Required time is not there. Uchita Kala is not there. The necessary time is not there in Swapna to create. You just create without needing that time. Uchita Desha is not there. Space is not there. Still you create. Therefore, a very wonderful creation. A very wonder it is. Swapna is a wonder. The content of the Swapna may be something, maybe nightmare, but still that you can have a nightmare is a wonder, right? Not only a sweet dream is a wonder, even a nightmare. You can create ghost, you can create booth, right? You can create a monster and then in the dream and then you suffer, you fear that. What a wonder. So, he says, Vishvaloke, everything is entirety, kalpita by you and you alone. Kalpite. Therefore, this is vasana rupe, purely in the form of this vasana. And then further continuing. Vane jane cha. Vanam and jana. People. Jana is people. People you create. People you create. Forest. Vana. Vane jane. Just for the sake of rhyming, it says Vane jane cha. Just a sample he is giving. Then Kalpita Vishvaloke. Swapne. Kalpita Vishvaloka, which is Swapna. So then the commentator explains, stretches this. From that waking state, we have to learn, we can learn something. That he says here. Yatha tadvat jagare api ityartha. Like even I project dream world, so too in Jagrat also I do project. Here we have to make a distinction. It is not that it is that my entire Swapna world is my projection. But the entire Jagrat world is not my projection. We should not consider that like Swapna, waking state also is like that. Does not mean that the whole world of name and form in the waking state is not my projection. It is not that. There are two aspects to that. Right? This one is that Ishvara Srishti. Ishvara Srishti. Other is Jiva Srishti. Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. Created by Ishvara. Ishvara's Srishti. Brought about by the Maya Shakti. That is the Ishvara Srishti. Jiva Srishti is what I imagine, how I perceive a thing, an object, how I look at a thing, an instance, an occasion, right? An occurrence. How I look at a thing, how I look at a person, that is Jiva Srishti. Like even, this is a table, okay? The table is made up of wood, okay? The wood is Ishvara Srishti, okay? But then I say, when did you buy this table? Last year, 2 months back I bought this. Where did you buy it? I bought in Mysore. What is it made of? It's made of sandalwood. How much it is? It's worth some 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees. Why do you use it? I mean, I like this table very much. Right? The table, that is the wood, is Ishvara Srishti. Then I have an attachment to that, a liking to that. I like this table. I like the work. I appreciate it. I use this. This is useful for me. This is my table. Right? These notions I have about the table, it's all my own Srishti. That it's my table, very useful table, beautiful table, right? And then I love this table. Right? All these are all, I don't like this. I look at it this way. I like this person. I don't like the person. I like this object. I don't like it. Right? That is not part of the Ishvara Srishti. It's all the Jiva Srishti here. The Jiva Srishti is purely my creation. Wood is not my creation, but my liking for the table, etc., my appreciation for the table, etc., this is all my Srishti. This is all Jiva Srishti. That is purely my Srishti. Like even Swapna Srishti is totally my Srishti. My own perception of a thing, my personal value I give to a thing, my interpretation of a thing, right? And then the likes and dislikes I have with reference to a thing, an object, a person, an event, an entity, right? A behavior, all that. I don't like your words. I don't like what you say. That my not liking what you say or my liking what you say is my Srishti. That's all. So that's all. That is Jiva Srishti. This aspect, in every object we have this Jiva Srishti and Ishvara Srishti. Ishvara Srishti is not a problem. Table is table, that's all, full stop. It has nothing to do with whether I like this or I don't like this. It has nothing to do with that, right? My liking the table, it has nothing to do with the table. The table has nothing to do with that, really. I don't like it, still the table remains as it is. I like the table, still the table remains as it is. There is no change in the table, whether I like it or don't like it. Right? My table or your table, it remains table only, right? So, Ishvara Srishti remains as it is. On that, the Jiva imposes his or her own creation. I like this, my table, your table, these are all Jiva Srishti, right? I like this, I don't like this, this is 10,000 rupees, it's all Jiva Srishti. So, it is the Jiva Srishti which may be a problem, which may cause the problem. Ishvara Srishti is just Ishvara Srishti. There is nothing good or bad about it. There is nothing useful or useless about it. It is just what it is. That's all. Wood is what? That's all. Full stop. But then the imposing usefulness, uselessness, right? Like or dislike on that, it's all purely Jiva Srishti. It is the Jiva Srishti which is the problem here, not the Ishvara Srishti. Therefore, in Jagarita, I just don't stop with looking at an object, looking at a person, but I impose my own view, my own like, my own idea on that, right? My perception of it. This is good, this is not good. This is my perception. May be necessary for Vyavahara, right? May be right in the light of Dharma, in the light of Vyavahara, it may be right. May be wrong also in the light of Dharma, in the light of Vyavahara, it may be wrong also. Right or wrong, that is all, both are Vyavaharika. But it is Jiva Srishti alone. It is the Jiva Srishti which needs to be looked into, analyzed. we assume that the Jiva Srishti also is Paramarthika. This is our problem. I think so. Don't we think? Don't we believe this way? Don't we feel this way? I think so. I think that you are a bad person. Full stop. Hey, why do you think that so and so is a bad person? I think so. My thinking, I think so. Ooh, I think so. I think, therefore it's real. I experience, therefore real. I feel, therefore real. My emotion, therefore real. Okay? Are we not taken up by our own this thinking that it is my feeling, my emotion, my idea, my opinion, my belief, therefore it has to be real, right? It is true. Okay? And we, in spite of our experience, in spite of that, later on we correct that also. Oh, I know, sorry, I mistook. Okay? I thought you were bad, but then I'm sorry, I mistook you. I know, now I understand you are a good fellow. Okay? But now when I thought that you are not a good fellow, I thought you are not a good fellow, full stop. Okay? Then later on I get, no, I'm sorry, I did a mistake. You are a good fellow. In spite of this experience of negating one's own idea about a thing, still we hold on to the idea that I feel so, I think so, therefore real. Right? Therefore it has to be true. It is true. I think so. Therefore, we have to look into our own ideas, how we perceive, how we look at a thing, how we interpret, our interpretation of people, behavior, words, actions, right? Our interpretations, we need to have an objective view of this. Don't jump into, without jumping into a conclusion, we try to have an objective view of our own thinking, our own outlook about people and things and incidents, etc. We try to do that. Be objective. When I am objective, then I don't jump into conclusions. Therefore it is real, therefore it is true. I don't jump into conclusions. I'm very, very objective. I feel so is all right. I think so is all right. But it is true is a question. Okay? It is real is a question here. I don't like it, maybe okay. You don't like it, okay. But then, therefore it is not good. Okay? I don't like it, therefore it is not good. That is the conclusion that we need not jump into. Therefore, here, this Jiva Srishti is very much like the Swapna Srishti, Swapna Loka only. Like the Swapna Jagat, the dream world is purely a creation of this dreamer, out of the vasanas. So too, the Jiva Srishti in the waking state also is purely a creation of this individual based on one's own vasana, samskara, jnanam, ajnanam, viparita jnanam, right? By all that, conditioned by all this, I create my own this subjective world of likes and dislikes, opinions, ideas, beliefs, likes and dislikes, I create. So this is therefore the Acharya points out here, tatha jagare api, that jagare api ityartha. Yata swapne, like in swapna, I create the swapna world, so too in the jagara also, in the waking state also, I do this Jiva Srishti. This clarity of this Jiva Srishti and Ishvara Srishti is presented in Panchadashi, in the book called Panchadashi, a great book. I have an idea that we see some chapters of Panchadashi in the sessions. I have an idea. Okay. So that's the fourth chapter, which is the fourth camp. Swamiji's camp is there, no? Puji Swamiji's fourth chapter. That is a Dvaita Viveka. The understanding of this duality, Dvaita, Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. Acharya points out, there and Swami points out that Ishvara Srishti is not a problem at all. It is the Jiva Srishti which constitutes the problem, which creates the problem for the Jiva, and therefore the Jiva has to look into that, analyze that. A very beautiful analysis in that. Therefore, here, yata swapne tadvat, like that, jagare api ityartha. Okay, very interesting, very nice. Now he goes on to explain the sushupti, the sleep state, as presented in the mantra. This we will see tomorrow. Om Bhadram Karne Vishramyana Deva भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति 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 ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ